Fox News contributor, former GOP candidate, author of The 3 C's That Made America Great: Christianity, Capitalism, and the Constitution. So, Governor, if he doesn't say man, does it count?
Come on, of course it counts.
Governor, thank you so much. Glad to have you here today on Fox and Friends.
We are glad to have you anyway, Governor. Anyway, we knew we could count on you. We want to get your take on a number of topics, including, we're 9 days out. 56 million Americans have cast their ballot. You even waited in the rain yesterday to vote early. And what's it like for Mike Huckabee to wait in the rain in line? I got to believe you're maybe taking a few photos, too. But what's your take on the energy in the race right now and everyone voting early?
I see the enthusiasm factor for Donald Trump, and I don't see it for Joe Biden. I see that there is an enthusiasm factor against Donald Trump by the far left, but I don't see people who are going out and saying, I just love how Joe Biden lays it out there. I mean, that would be, if they said it, a bunch of malarkey, because he doesn't lay it out there. I mean, in the last half hour of the debate, he honestly seemed to be fading, and I'm not trying to be unkind. I'm just saying that his words began to slur. It was like he was out of gas, and it was very evident watching in those last moments. Yesterday, watching his speech, when you see him, he's like an angry man standing on his porch telling you to get off his lawn. You know, he's got those eyes squinted and he's saying, there they are, a bunch of chumps out there. And it just seems like this is not a guy who's happy. He's angry, and he's flailing. I just think a lot of people are going to ask themselves, is this guy capable of being president? If you don't work hard to become president, what makes you think he will work hard if he becomes president? He has basically, as they love to say, put a lid on it and has been under the lid now in these final days of the campaign. That's unbelievable and unprecedented.
Governor, I want to ask you about a populist message, because I think both candidates have really attempted to convey that populist message. Joe Biden now coming out and saying that Trump has forgotten about the forgotten man. This is him in Pennsylvania on Saturday. Take a listen.
Barack and I worked hard to earn and win your votes in 2008 and 2012. And I tell you what, it wasn't, I thought it was great to see him again out on the trail for me, quite frankly. But I understand why. Some people voted for Donald Trump. They believe they weren't seen or being respected or heard. Trump ran around saying he represents the forgotten man and woman in this country. I get it. But then he got elected and he immediately forgot the forgotten man.
Is that accurate, and does that line work?
Well, it's ridiculous. It was Trump that got the tax cuts for the forgotten man, that put money in the pockets of every single worker in this nation. People deep down know that their pockets got heavier, not lighter, when Donald Trump passed that tax cut. They know if they're a small business operator, it got easier to run their business when Donald Trump took the regulatory burden off their necks. If they're a firearms owner, they know that Donald Trump has protected their Second Amendment rights and hasn't threatened it and put them under indictment like what we saw in this couple in St. Louis. If they're pro-life, they're no longer being chased and hunted by the IRS for the organizations they belong to. This is nonsense. Of all the things that Joe Biden has said, I think he forgot his own record as vice president and his record as a Democrat over these past few years. And he seems to have forgotten the positions he's taken, because he's taken a position to protect the elitist, to protect the people who went after Donald Trump from the highest levels of government. And there are a lot of people in America that look at that and say, if you can do that to the President of the United States, what could you do to me? And I hope people understand that this isn't about Donald Trump. It's about them. And they need to vote accordingly and not let Joe Biden and Kamala Harris get in, who believe in a big, heavy-footed government on their necks.
The fight for the forgotten man. It's a campaign message. I think it goes back to Calvin Coolidge. And by the way, Governor, you won't be forgotten here for having my back on Come On Man and whether or not Come On counts.
Come on, Gov.
I will always be welcoming you back. All right, Governor, thanks for your time today.
You bet.